They asked us to put together a task force over the summer and kind of work through some proposed changes. And I think through that process and through the discussions with council, we talked about kind of three primary kind of policy goals for the city that they wanted to accomplish. So one was kind of to provide a financial incentive for people to throw away less by instituting what we ended up with was a fee based on your trash cart size. So the larger trash cart would cost more than the smaller trash cart. The second one was to implement a new organics cart for what it says recycling of both yard and food waste. So everybody is part of their solid waste services in the city today gets yard waste services. So this is kind of deploying a cart that will take both that stuff and kind of food waste, kind of like some people do with compost crew and other things today. Because we already had trucks going through the city to take the yard waste away, it's a smaller incremental cost for the city to take on. So that's the idea behind that one. And then finally, the idea of kind of instituting a fee was to address the concern of fairness brought up by some members of the community who, paying taxes, for real estate and other things like others, but weren't able to take advantage of the solid waste services. So what are the changes that we ended up with? So first of all, we're instituting a new fee that's based on the refuse cart size, your trash cart size. So almost everybody in the city's either got a 65 big trash cart or a slightly smaller 35-gallon cart. So the fees I think we settled on were $236 for the small one and $336 for the larger one. We'll be deploying a new organics cart for both yard and food waste. So this takes stuff out of, away from going to the landfill or the incinerator and helps, kind of from a environmental standpoint. And we're in the middle of kind of a big campaign to push out and get information from folks to find out what size of cart, or whether they don't want a cart at all. We can talk more about that in a minute. The program we've rolled out does provide elderly and disabled low-income relief through the real estate tax relief program. So if folks qualify for elderly, disabled, low-income relief on their tax bill, you would qualify. You get your fee waived for solid waste services. And this new fee will come out and it'll be part of the real estate tax bills that are coming out at the end of November.
Is that a fee on each cart that you have times 3, or on which cart?
It's one fee for the whole service.
And if you have different sizes of carts?
The fee's only based on your trash cart size. So you could have different size. You can have a big recycling cart and a big organics cart, but if you have a small trash cart, you would get the smaller fee.
If you want to switch to a smaller trash cart, can that be done before the tax bills?
Not this year. We'll talk more about that in a minute. So as we went through this, these are the costs to the city to deploy, the solid waste program services today. So what we call a collection fee to pay for the trucks to drive around the city and collect, trash, recycling, and then organics, yard waste today. Tipping fees, which is what we've got to pay the place that we haul the stuff to. The city currently has a composting subsidy that the city pays for folks that are part of the compost crew program, if you've seen that around. And then the new organics cart implementation, we're talking about the added cost for that pushes us up right around $1 million overall. So as we've laid out the fee, so to break down that $1 million across our customers, like the $236 fee for a 35-gallon and then a $336 for a 65-gallon. This shows, what the other thing that's happened on everybody's tax bill is your tax rate is being reduced. And so you'll see a lower tax bill than you would have seen kind of before this was implemented. And then the net effect between the new fee and then the reduction in your real estate tax depends on the value of your property, right? And so this table is kind of just as an example. If your property is assessed at $550,000, the net effect would be your costs are probably going to go up $153, kind of between those two changes. And as your property value goes up, you're paying more real estate taxes, and so the net effect of the change kind of reduces. Does that make sense to everybody? So on the organics cart, so we run a huge communications campaign. I don't know if anybody's gotten the door hangers on the trash carts, postcards. I got my postcard this week. And we've had a lot of kind of social media communications, but we really want to hear from everybody and know, like, what kind of cart do you want? The default that we're going to give to folks that we don't hear from is we'll give you an organics cart that's the same size as your trash cart today. But we recognize that not everybody maybe wants one of these, or they might want a smaller one. So we want to try and hear from as many people as we can beforehand.
So if we don't do anything, just expect to get one that same size.
Correct.
Same size to trash.
Yep. What we don't want is to deploy a bunch of them and then get a bunch of people calling and tell us to take them back. So part of the reason of this is if you don't want it, that's cool, let us know, and then we won't order one and deliver one to your house.
So that screen says food waste and yard waste can be commingled. Does that mean you're doing away with the paper yard waste bag?
No,
You can still do that, but you can also put the stuff in the bin.
anything that goes in the bin, you don't need a sticker for.
Okay.
So it's, I think it'll be, as long as you don't have too much stuff, I think it can be useful.
Can you put compost in the yard bag?
Yeah.
Trying to find a loophole.
Yeah. Okay, so our goal is to get kind of input from everybody by the end of October, so the end of next week. I think we've heard from 1,200 out of our 3,100 customers so far, so
We
almost.
do have paper forms if you want to fill. If you do know tonight what you want, you can fill it
Love your
out
input.
with us, yeah.
Do you expect it to be a fee for this service?
No. It's included, it's all one standard service for everyone.
Do you just, do you need to buy a compost bag to put into the yellow cart? Or do you just slop it in there like?
You can, I mean, I think some of what we'll be coming out with, as we get closer to deployment in the spring, will be some kind of best practices, suggestions and things. You can keep the inside of the bin cleaner if you have it in a compostable bag and you throw it in there periodically. And so there'll be some other tips and tricks, but you can just throw it in there, right? Lonnie Marchetti's our solid waste coordinator, and she talks about, there's different ways to mix it with grass clippings and things to, but it also doesn't need to be that complicated. You can throw it in the bin and they'll take the whole bin.
It's like 2 years down the line, if you opt out now and then 2 years later want one, can you opt in later on?
Yes. Yeah, we haven't worked out the process for doing that yet, right? We want to get the initial batch out, but the idea is we'll have some extras and, can entertain those requests in the future.
We do have a question. Can we still dispose of yard waste in a regular Home Depot bin without needing to add a yellow sticker?
Those will require the yellow sticker still. So the goal is to order those carts in November and hopefully deploy them, like I think in the March timeframe is what we're looking at. And then for folks that are participating with the compost crew program today, the city subsidy will end shortly after these bins are deployed. And so you can continue being a compost crew customer, but the city's,
And you pay a lot.
it's expensive. It can be expensive.
It's gonna be expensive.
For also townhomes, if you want to share with neighbors, you're also able to do that. Someone gets a 65 gallon and 4 neighbors want to combine and that's okay as well. Just need to make sure that you have a place to keep it. It's not out in the street or on the, right away, someplace where you would normally leave your cart to be serviced during the week. But you are able to share a bin as well.
Will there still be containers out back,
Yes,
so you do it yourself if you
if you
choose.
prefer to do that, you absolutely can.
Will the containers in fact be just organics or be, just the compost or organics too?
So it would be just the service today. I think it would just be food waste. And yard waste, you can still put in a brown bag, and a sticker at your property if you.
And our operations team will still be doing the leaf collection and mulch, as they normally do.
And if you want to change the size of your trash bin, how do you do that?
We're getting there.
So, sorry, just to repeat the question from online, you will need to have the yellow stickers on the brown paper bags. If you have a old bin that you use just for brush or like sticks and twigs, can be left on your curb like you normally do now.
We're not changing any of the rules associated with that. So, on organics, like, we've got materials are going out about what can go in, and it's a lot of different things, everything from pizza boxes, paper napkins and towels that are compostable, meat and bones and all of those things are okay. They've asked us not to, have folks put in whole carcasses, So for those of you that have deer season coming up, like, they're not interested in that, but your chicken bones and other things like that, can all go in. So, I've talked through the timeline already, we're looking to deploy the carts in March. This talks about kind of where we got the cost of the program, because we're already paying for trucks to kind of go around the city and pick up yard waste. Essentially, those same trucks are going to start picking up the yellow bins, and so the incremental cost to the city is not that significant. It's how we're able to roll this in. So the trash cart changes. So as we kind of talked with city council, we ran into a timing problem with being able to offer folks the choice of making that change this year. And so, because the real estate tax bills had to be finalized like a month ago. And so, everybody's real estate tax bill for this year will reflect a fee based on the size of trash cart you have today. And we're gonna come out with a separate kind of survey input form in the spring, so January, February, ask for folks that are interested in making the change for next year. And that'll help us plan the budget and set the fee for next year. And so the first time that new fee would show up on your real estate tax bill would be a year from now, in November of 2026. That makes sense to everybody. We were originally going to ask that same question with the organics cart, and then we just decided it was too complicated and we'd take them one at a time. Colorful questions chart. So, you just joined us, so we may have to, I'm happy to kind of go back, whether as a group or offline, and answer any questions, cover some things for you if you want, but any other questions? Folks?
The trash men who come just throw the bins across the street and they bang against cars and everything, and they get cracked. So what if you need to replace a bin that's cracked?
So if you need to replace a bin, you just email recycling@fallschurchva.gov. And we'll reach out to ADS and ask them to swap it out the following week.
Okay. What was that again?
Recycling@fallschurchva in Virginia.gov.
I did that with my recycling cart last year, and it was super easy, and the team does a great job. Just showed up one day, they took away the old one.
I did it as well. When the new one came, same size, the wheelbase was so much narrower that now I can hardly handle it with, pulling it.
Oh, it wobbled more.
Yeah, the wheelbase changed from something like this, even on the small one, to same size cart, but the wheelbase was I almost want to go back to the big one, although it would be, so empty most weeks. Like,
Right.
it's, are the new ones gonna be that same wheelbase? Because that's,
I'm not sure.
Let me pull up the picture that we have of the,
I don't think this picture is representative. This one was just one we had.
no, that is it.
So that's it.
That is what the bin will look like.
It looks a little wider, but I'm not, I don't know if I can tell from that one or not.
We will have, examples of these carts. They're supposed to be, we thought they'd be in by now. But hopefully by the end of this week, we should have them up here for residents to come look at the different sizes.
Can you put that on your website, publisher's website, that
Yeah.
is,
We could put it on our,
let us know, because I like your website.
Yeah.
The other idea is, depending when they come in, if it's in time before October 31st, if there is to have a card table and a person at a farmer's market so people can see what the bins look like and their size and but they can squeak into an overcrowded grass.
So I have the dimensions for you.
Good.
The 65-gallon cart is 31.5 by 24.25 by 41.75.
What's the 41 high?
And then the 35-gallon is 23.75 by 19.75 by 38.25.
Excellent. Thank you.
You're
Put that on the
welcome.
website too. That's better.
I guess, and I didn't hear the whole presentation, I didn't come in, but my biggest confusion was over the organics part. And I've read every postcard, every piece of literature, and I still was confused.
Okay,
So I guess from reading this, the organics card is for food waste and yard waste?
yes.
And is that taking the place of putting the paper bags with the stickers?
in addition to. So
Oh, in
if you
addition to.
choose to not get an organic cart and you want to put your yard waste in the brown paper bags with the yellow stickers, you can continue to do that.
Okay, so,
You can't put food waste in the
That's
brown
correct. You
bags.
can't put the.
no, that's just
Yeah.
yard waste.
Yes.
Right. So whether I take an organics cart or not, I still am want to be charged the new trash fee, right?
Correct.
Because it will cover trash, recycling, and compost.
Okay, and trash and recycling is still as we do it today, no glass bottles?
Correct.
Okay,
We'll have some more communication materials come out about things you can put in it or not, but yeah, I mean, I think that hits the
yeah,
highlights.
because I've already went online and said I don't want organics because I don't want to do the food composting, but then someone started telling me about the yard waste. I said, oh, wait a minute, I thought we were only talking about food waste, so.
So the way I've thought about it is for, unless you've got a lot of yard waste, like if you don't need, like if you only have a bag every now and then, like it's perfect, right? Like you
Yeah.
just put it in there and you don't have to buy stickers or bags or any of that kind of stuff. So, so it kind of just depends on how much stuff you have, whether you've got a place to put the cart and all of that, but
Yeah, it's just, you know, how it is, it depends on the time of year, is how much yard waste you have, right?
it could like cut down on some hassle for folks, right? It could make that kind of service easier to use.
Right, and one thing that we do want to mention though is that no matter the size of branches or whatever you put in it, the lid does have to close completely. So you can't put so much in it that have branches hanging out the top. It does have to have, the lid has to close.
Okay.
I just asked about the glass bottles. Was that decision made because of cost or I know that's really not, it's off,
Yeah.
but I thought maybe someone here would.
So my understanding is, because we have a recycling company and a program where it's all commingled together, that they were having a lot of problems with the glass breaking and basically kind of ruining the whole stream of recycled materials. And so we go to the company that sorts it all out and it is ending up costing them more money then they could recover from the materials to deal with the glass mess. And so they told us they wouldn't take it. It wasn't even a decision on city cost. They just said they wouldn't take it.
I do have a question about the glass recycling. My husband periodically takes our glass bottles to the recycling bin. And I don't remember when the hours are, but they're very restricted. The whole thing gets closed down and you can't even get to the bins. So
it should be, you can drive in Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
right.
And then it's open to walk in on both sides, although the gate's locked, you can walk in on the weekends and outside of those hours from dawn to dusk. So Saturday, Sunday, it's open.
So you just have to lug it around and walk in.
Yeah.
So
You pull up at the curb and you walk it up to the.
Yeah.
the glass one's right up front, so that one's not hard. The problem I think our team was having is, well, like, we were getting a lot of illegal dumping, kind of overnights and weekends and stuff. And so, we have a big kind of metal dumpster in the back and some other things. And so we were having to deal with a lot of problems. And so this is a way to still provide some access, but not have to deal with quite as much of that.
And not just leaving it out in the open, it was mixing items that shouldn't be in specific bins. And so we weren't able to actually recycle them. We do have a question about, could you explain a little bit of why allocating trash removal to residents? Why did we go this route?
So, I think one of the issues that kind of was brought to city council last year was, there's a number of kind of property owners in the city and condo buildings and the like that looked at the city providing services to, single family homes and townhomes for solid waste services. And they were not able to get those services for their buildings. They had to pay for trash and recycling separately, and said, hey, that's not fair. You're giving a service to them, but not to us. And so I think city council asked staff to hey, so what can we do about this? When you start looking at kind of providing service to all those buildings, it gets really complicated and it doesn't really kind of fit with what the city's able to do. So the alternative was this, to say, okay, we'll reduce everybody's taxes a little bit, and then the people that actually use the service have to pay the fee to use.
When is it that the fee starts, did you say?
It'll show up in the real estate tax bill that you all will get at the beginning of December.
It's December?
Yes.
Because that's the first payment for 2026.
Correct.
The fee will be split in half, and the first half will be due December 5 with the taxes and the stormwater fee, and the second half will be due June 5 with the taxes and stormwater fee. And we haven't gotten this question, but I want to talk a little bit more about the tax relief program. So for taxpayers who are 65 and older, or totally and permanently disabled, who earn an income of 75,000 or less gross household income, they could potentially qualify for tax relief and have the solid waste fee relief as well.
It's not just a discount, it's wiping out of the fees totally.
The solid waste fee.
What other questions y'all have?
But we keep the 2 bins we have.
Correct. None of that.
And the size thing is only about the size of the bin is only about the organics, or that's all the bins?
So the bin size that's used for your fee is just your trash cart size.
Okay,
So the organics bin is the new one we're rolling out, and we want to know what size, or if people don't want it, right? But that doesn't have any bearing on your fee. Your fee is only based on the size of your trash cart.
And what we have now, the larger size, the size we currently have, is that considered the larger size of the two that is being offered?
If you live in a single family home, probably.
I can always check to see what we have on our system of what size you currently have.
Well, yeah, I have the same size as everybody else on my street, so I assume that's the large one.
Yes, it's the 265
Yeah.
gallon.
Right, that was the one that just, came, right.
You all heard about this with your neighbors, and you've heard folks talking about it in the community at all? No?
Some.
Some. Okay.
So yeah, a little bit. I think you've done a really great job with sending out postcards, sending out letters, really trying hard to make everybody aware.
Appreciate that. Like that's the goal.
I was just debating on size. I was trying to visualize this in my head, get my head around it. And I thought, if I could, see them, I make a judgment.
So we're hoping they'll be here at City Hall tomorrow. But, I think Scarlett was saying we were hoping they'd be here this week to share with everybody. And so we're close, like they're on their way.
Well, I'm the president of the Village Preservation Society, and we have a booth every Saturday at the farmer's market. So if you need a place to put your carts out to talk, we will offer our booths to put it out with our, in front of.
That would be, that's a really great idea. Like if you'd be willing.
Well, I think you said that, and I said, that is a good idea. I mean, I know really it's not everybody in the farmer's markets from the city, but, yeah, we're always
Yeah,
happy to
and
partner with you
I
guys.
don't know that we've got folks lined up to be able to be there this weekend, but if the bins were here and we were able to kind of.
I think it would be helpful for people to be able to say, oh, this is the larger, this is the smaller, this is,
Alternatively, if you're not able to do that or the bins don't come when you want them to, if you can get a photo into the Falls Church newspaper, with somebody standing next to these bins, the big one, the little one, that kind of helps people visualize how this is
Our
going to work.
communications team is also trying to make a video so everyone can see exactly how much and what can go in. That'll be posted soon too.
Do you have garbage bins in stock? Because they're the same size, right? 35. Do they look any different other than the color?
You shouldn't.
Do you keep those in stock or no?
We keep them at the property yard on Gordon Road, but for ours, the ones, ADS is actually the one that holds onto all of them to swap out. So we have a few, but the same ones that you all have.
I'm just thinking it might be more confusing if you brought up, because if they're the same, but just a different color, that would help you with your size question.
It's a good backup plan.
It is,
My
yeah.
hope is the yellow ones will be here tomorrow. But no, it's a good
Are
suggestion.
the yellow ones gonna be picked up on Wednesdays as well?
Yes. So right now we have 3 trucks that service, and the third one is the yard waste. And it's gonna just turn into a compost. So they'll be able to pick up the brown bags as well as the compost. It's all gonna be one truck.
Okay.
I have a sort of also side question. I noticed the gentlemen who come to pick up my garbage pull the bags out. They don't actually put it on the back. So in another community, I would see it's put on the back and then it has a mechanism that tips it out so that I don't have to have all the garbage in a bag if I don't want to, type of thing. But this community, they pull or my street, they pull the bags out. So I feel like I have to have everything in a plastic bag ready for them to pull out versus knowing I could use fewer plastic bags because they're going to tip the garbage into the truck. I don't know if
That's something that I'll definitely bring up to our solid waste quarter. She wasn't able to be here tonight, but I will bring that up to her tomorrow. I don't know much about that. I live in the city and I haven't noticed that, so it might be your truck. I don't know.
Yeah.
they pull them out.
They pull it out.
Same with
Because
me.
I just feel like I
But-
use a lot of
But
plastic
I,
bags.
I go some weeks to make them tip it,
Yeah.
don't put it in a bag. They must tip,
I thought
they
they would,
must tip it.
if I don't put it in bags, see, I wasn't willing to take that risk.
Yeah, I
but
did.
will now.
Does everything tip out? Sometimes not, but you,
Okay,
And also, if it's really
Most of it
heavy,
does.
I don't know, if you have something heavy in there.
I'll just put in some bricks.
They will. They don't want to,
No,
that's too much to lift.
There is a comment here that a resident saying, I worry that allocating this fee to residents, the city will raise fees every year. This makes it difficult for seniors who don't qualify for tax relief. Can you make some sort of good faith promise that the city will not raise fees every year or every few years?
No, I don't think I can make that commitment. I think, part of the challenge with city services, just like anything else in the economy, is like the costs don't stay the same, right? And so, part of our challenge kind of across all the city services is to try and manage those in a way where we minimize kind of the increase in cost of things. But, I think our contract's got a 5% or something escalation every year. And so, so those are things we have to work through. So, okay, well, we appreciate you all coming in.
This is worthwhile. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here.
Help us spread the word, reach out if you have any questions. We really want to hear from everybody about what they'd like, before the end of
Would
next
like a
week. If
paper
we can.
form. Before you leave, you're more than welcome to, you can drop it off. You can fill it out tonight and hand it in, or you can drop it off at the permits counter. It's actually.
And also, as the city's tax relief program administrator, I would encourage everyone to look at the application online and call me with any questions that you have. It's a fairly liberal program, and I think a lot more people may qualify and not know that they qualify. So that might be worth looking into.
That's a good point.
If I already went online and said, no, I don't want an organics cart, and now I want to change my mind, am I able to do that?
And so they will, with the paper ones, we actually go in and put them in, and we'll take the most recent one, so.
Okay,
So if you told us 2 weeks ago you didn't want one,
I
tell us today you want one, we'll take the latest answer you gave us.
all right, thank you.
Didn't know we were gonna sell things today. That's great.
Makes it go down to.
Opting out, so it's,
That's okay.